With Ahsoka episodes 1 through 3 now officially on Disney Plus, and episode 4 looming for its Tuesday release date at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have a lot of things to talk about. What Kathleen Kennedy had to say about Ahsoka that I feel, and I'm sure a lot of you will agree, is very alarming news regarding some of the core characters, Dave Filoni as a creator, and exactly what the Ahsoka series is really going to center on and how it really translates to this show yet being another bait and switch scenario much like Kenobi, Boba Fett, and Mando Season 3. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into the subject, shall we? Now, we know that Kathleen Kennedy had a hand in the Ahsoka series, and must I be clear, it's not that she had creative power per se over the series, where she was able to force her ideas, but Dave Filoni allowed many of her ideas to spill into the show, and it turns out either Dave Filoni was putting on a front this whole entire time, that he was like sided with George Lucas, or he was corrupted by Kathleen Kennedy. Now, a lot of the ideas that Kathleen Kennedy insisted, essentially that she offered to Dave Filoni, got spilled into the show because he actually enjoyed her ideas and led them into the series. So let's go over what Kathleen Kennedy had to say about the Ahsoka Tano show and why it's quite worrisome about what's looming for this actual series and how it's going to lead into the Dave Filoni movie. Let's discuss, shall we? Now, specifically, with Disney and Lucasfilm attempting to course correct Star Wars with the Ahsoka Tano series, recently Kathleen Kennedy opened up about the show, where Kennedy went on to deliver the following. When we were crafting this series, I think one of Dave Filoni's fantastic ideas was for Sabine Wren. We really wanted to look back at the sequel movies and model Sabine after Rey Skywalker. We thought this was going to be an excellent way to parallel part of the Star Wars universe. Rey was essentially our template for Sabine in the show, and though I don't want to spoil anything regarding this series, Dave Filoni has some great twists and turns looming for her that's going to break the rules of the franchise and evolve it, and it was a great way to unburden ourselves from George's philosophy of Star Wars. We are restructuring the meaning of the Force and the concept of midichlorians. We are evolving George's ideas, and we knew this was a must-have for the Ahsoka series. Filoni was totally on board with this, and even insisted that we base Sabine after Rey Skywalker. So you're going to see many parallels to her as a character. Now guys, let me just stop here for 1 second. This, I think, falls directly in line with what I mentioned for what's about to happen in episode 4. If you look at the TV spots and the little snippets of footage that have been displayed on television and online, you see the tease of Sabine Wren battling against Shin Hati. And there's even a scene where she's raising her hand against Shin, trying to use the Force. I keep saying this, I think that Sabine is going to just magically get the Disney treatment of the Force, kind of like what Rey got in The Force Awakens, and it's going to be nothing more than just that, a parallel to the Rey and Kylo Ren duel on Starkiller Base. You know, I think it's kind of quite ironic as well that it's also based within a forest, much like on Starkiller Base. It's almost like a direct parallel, and I think that's exactly what Kathleen Kennedy is hinting at here. That Sabine Wren, and mark my words, Sabine Wren is going to magically unlock the Force without any significant training when she battles Shin Hati. She's just going to tap into this power through desperation and open it up. So, if not in episode 4, it most definitely will happen in either episode 5 or 6 at some point in the series with little to no training. Just watch. Now, moving onwards. This just goes to show you that Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni really are the wreckers of the show. And this is exactly why I feel at this point in time, Dave Filoni is not the savior of Star Wars. He is not the answer to Star Wars. Based on the fact that Kathleen Kennedy is admitting here that a lot of these ideas were all driven by Dave Filoni himself, and the fact that Jon Favreau is not a co-writer for this show is very revealing, and how he's not even a co-writer as well for Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie. He actually did not get the deal for Dave Filoni's movie to become a co-writer. He was excluded. And I think it does lead to the rumblings that we heard months ago that Dave got this favoritism deal by Kathleen Kennedy for getting the Ahsoka show, for getting his own Star Wars movie, but not Jon Favreau, who, by the way, has been a creator of movies associated with Disney, like The Jungle Book and The Lion King. But anyways, I digress. Let's get into the real material now. So, she goes on to continue. To us, the future is female. She always keeps saying that with this franchise, and we are very excited to share both the Ahsoka and Acolyte series to everyone over time. 2 female-centric shows in a row is something that we are very proud of. This is our mission to create fairness in the community and franchise. Sabine is our focus with this series, and we couldn't be happier to give Ahsoka a great purpose in this show that's going to evolve what Lucas created and cemented into this foundation of the Force and its capabilities and limitations. So far, we have realized that this is our most well-received show yet for Disney+, and we couldn't be happier to set everything up for Dave Filoni's movie, which we will comment more on that later in the year for everyone to see. We are proud of our character, and of course, those like Sabine, Shin, Ahsoka, and much more like Mon Mothma. So again, Kathleen Kennedy really hinting here that Sabine Wren is gonna get that Rey treatment, as we talked about, by the way, last week, that this is definitely a little hint of what's displayed in episode 3, where basically Sabine is trying to move the cup, she can't move the cup, and that's gonna transfer into her just magically unlocking the Force with little to no training, either in episode 4, just remember my voice, either in episode 4, or at a later point in time, well before episode 8, Sabine will just magically unlock the Force in a phase of desperation and on the brink of getting destroyed. So I think that's going to basically unravel very soon, and you're going to see this happen between herself and Shin Hati. So overall, we know that part of the leaks associated with Ahsoka is that it was going to be about the rise of a new Jedi. Obviously, this is all catered to Sabine Wren. You know, it's even there in the TV spots. They talk about it. There's title displays that say a new Jedi will rise, you know, yada yada yada. So Kathleen Kennedy here is literally admitting that a lot of these ideas were all Dave Filoni ideas. To use Rey, as in she calls her Rey Skywalker, which is just a mockery, but when you look at the actual Skywalker lineage, it's crazy how Kathleen Kennedy was the one that really forced that upon J.J. Abrams. Like, oh, let's call her Rey Skywalker just to satisfy the fans that wanted her to be a Skywalker. That's basically what episode 9 was about. It was all pandering to all the fans that wanted this and that for Rey. Make her a Palpatine, make her a nobody, make her a Skywalker. You know, they wanted to display all of that in one actual film. So anyway, guys, drop a comment below, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. From night to moon we hear them moans again.